Yes.
I was applying for the FBI and was halfway through the process.
Hmm.
The injury prevented me from obviously continuing on.
Hmm.
I was had to learn kind of how to walk again, to go through physical therapy. There was no way I was going to be able to make it to the FBI Academy, right?
Hmm.
I couldn't exercise for 2 years.
Wow.
So my body shrunk, my muscles are weak. Um, so that within itself brings about the depression.
Hmm.
Um, you question whether or not you'll be able to perform the same way and things like that. My
Hmm.
entire future plan, we all know what happens when you think you can plan ahead of God's plans, right?
Yeah.
So how I was able to recover, um, so one day, I was still in the process of getting better. I had my sling on, I had the bandages wrapped around my face, still had stitches and things like that. But I was able to move around a lot better. I had a cast on my leg and things like that. So I'm still, I'm determined to get around. I went to go get something to eat at a burger place.
Hmm.
And while I'm there, you couldn't really tell. I looked very disheveled, right? Like even the pigmentation, the brown, it was pink. I had like white and pink marks all over my face from the burns and stuff from the road. And a lady was there with her son. Her son came up to me and said, "Thank you for your service. You're a superhero."
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here slung up. I'm looking like Quasimodo. For those who know this channel, Quasimodo. I'm looking bad, you guys.
Yeah. But he recognized you.
He recognized me, and I'm
Oh.
looking and said, "What the hell is this little boy talking about? Superhero?"
Yeah.
I said, "Excuse me." He said, "Yeah, you're a superhero."
Oh.
And I'm looking at him like, "What?" And then I see his mom come over. Officer Daly, thank you for your service. We saw what happened to you. We were actually on the interstate when it happened.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, how do you even recognize? Like, I don't even recognize myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, we're praying for you. Hope you get better and stuff like that. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you. And he's like, yeah, and the little kid's there. Superhero. I said, why do you keep saying that? I said, do you see my face? I said, this is not what a superhero looks like. And I'm dead serious. I'm like, this is not what a superhero looks like. I'm look like Quasimodo
Mhm.
on crack. And I said, why do you say that? And he said, well, you are a superhero. He's like,
Mhm.
only a superhero can be hit by a car and get up and walk again.
Yeah.
And when he said that to me, it sent chills up my spine.
Hmm.
You're talking about I spent over a year just depressed, just kind of moping around.
Yeah.
The issue with
Alone. Hmm.
yeah, I couldn't get my surgery at a in time because of COVID.
Oh.
So because of COVID and my surgery wasn't considered like life threatening, they
Yeah.
they pushed my surgery back. So a lot of people like I forget to always mention that. Like I was dealing with my injury for a very long time
Mhm.
because of COVID, and nobody knew what COVID was at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're real funny. They reduced a lot of the surgeries. They were only doing the ones that were considered to be like life-threatening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was so much chaos. So I was put on the back burner. And as I was put on like my injuries are healing incorrectly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So like if you don't get your surgery in time, it's gonna heal incorrectly. It's gonna
it's
be
gonna
like
heal. And
stuck
that's
in the wrong
exactly
position or whatever.
yes,
Hmm.
exactly what happened. My collarbone had detached from my shoulder.
Oh my
That's
God.
why I was in a sling because all of that stuff tore inside my
Yeah.
shoulder.
So now
And
it's healing, not attached.
correct. It's healing, not attached. Correct. Correct. That's basically what
Right?
happened.
Yeah.
My collarbone was sticking out of my shoulder like this. And so the sling that I had was to keep my shoulder up. I could not lift anything with my
Oh, oh
hands.
my God.
Yeah, I couldn't lift anything because I think we don't realize your shoulder blade, all this like this bone connected to that bone, right?
You
Like
need
we don't
everything
know.
connected
You need
properly.
everything connected, you guys. Listen, don't let them fool you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use it. I couldn't. So imagine, couldn't bathe myself.
Hmm.
I couldn't walk. I mean, it was so much. It was so much, you guys. So in this moment,
Hmm.
I don't feel like I feel horrible. I don't feel like, and I have this kid telling me that I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I needed to hear that because I felt so sorry for myself. I hated the person who did this to me. I
Yeah.
hated what my life was becoming to be like.
Yeah.
I went home that day and I cried. That was the first time since the accident that I actually fell down and just kind of just cried, and I prayed and I asked God to give me the strength. I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to be this person. Um, and it was because of the words that he said, and the power of someone's kindness, the power of someone being able to see something in you that you cannot see
Yeah.
in yourself. And that moved me in a way to where it made me stop feeling bad. I, in that moment, forgave that man for what he did to me. That
Wow.
day was the day I forgave him.
Wow.
I was holding on to that
Yeah, you're
pain,
holding on to that
that
anger.
anger. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was holding on to it. And I didn't start healing until I let it go.
Yeah, because anger will make you sick. It's gonna
Make
be
it
in
sick,
your
man.
cells
Yep,
everywhere.
yep. And so I went home, I got in the Bible, and I'm always praying, but this prayer was different.
Yeah.
I was praying with conviction,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I said, God, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to push forward. I need something new. And I was getting a lot of support from the community. They were sending letters and cupcakes. When I was getting out the
Yeah.
hospital, you mentioned that I was smiling and
Yeah.
laughing. Well, I was
Cookies
high.
or chocolate.
Chocolate chip cookies, cupcakes.
Yeah.
I was asking for all these things because I'm a damn cookie monster. I have a bad sweet tooth. And so I was like, if you guys want to support me, just bring me cookies and cupcakes. And then the whole nation rallied
Sent
behind that.
you that, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Boxes and boxes. So I was eating good, right? Like
Yeah.
I was eating good, living good.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you too, when we talk about depression, that you can have all those things.
But that's also feeding your depression.
It was.
You know
It
what I
was
mean?
feeding me.
Sugar is a bad drug.
Listen, I needed that. Those things became a crutch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because what I was doing to kind of help myself feel better, I'd open one card a day.
Yep.
And I was like, I had a lot of cards, a lot of
Yeah.
fan mail.
Yeah.
And I was opening one a day. I was eating the cupcakes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't happy though,
Yeah.
right? That within itself didn't bring me happiness. It
Yeah.
didn't bring me joy.
Yeah.
And
Because
it
you're
didn't
still
help me.
sad.
I was still sad. And I
Yeah.
didn't know why I was sad. I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
I was angry,
Yep.
and I was holding on to the fact that I was holding on to who I was
Yeah.
prior to the accident.
Yeah.
And my hair on my face was growing. I couldn't shave because I'm right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
I also couldn't shave because all the lacerations on my face.
Yeah.
So, and the swelling within my mouth. So the
Mm-hmm.
hair was just growing out. I'm looking just tattered.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I let go. I told myself that I got to a point where, though I feared death, I was no longer clinging on to life, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this moment that you have to, we call it the golden mean, right? It's the balance, is right. You got to be right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that moment where I was completely balanced and I understood what was going on. I accepted the fact that I was not the person yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I died to self, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the process. There's this thing where they talk about, you know, it feels good to be a grape, but grapes
Mm-hmm.
don't ever want to be wine because you have to be crushed to
You got to be
become
crushed.
wine. And that moment for me was the crushing moment. It was a
Yeah.
transitioning, right? I had to be crushed in order to become something new. But in order to become that, you have to accept the crushing process, or you don't appreciate the byproduct, right? And so I recognize in the moment that, one, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I'm mentally still aware that this is not the end, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
so much more that I can do. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I said, God, I'm gonna open up all these cards. I'm gonna open all the boxes. I'm not gonna use this as a crutch. I came across a box, and in the box was a blanket. It was a hand quilted blanket or knitted blanket. And it was with the blue line, had the black in the middle and the blue on the it was the blue line. The black on the outside and the blue line in the middle. And it was a letter from a nonprofit. And the lady made this quilt herself. She knitted it
herself. Yeah.
And the letter from her nonprofit is called Covering the Blue. And in the letter it said, my name is so and so. I'm doing this to help officers who've been severely hurt, in the line of duty. This blanket is to act as a protection, as a covering for you. When you're down, when you're sad, when you don't feel like you can go on, put this over you, allow it to cover you and give you comfort.
That was perfect.
And when I say powerful,
yes.
And I read it, and again, started crying, took the blanket, covered myself with it. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna defeat this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna overcome this. And that was the spark that pushed me in the direction. The way she made me feel, that act of kindness, the words of affirmation provided by that young man, that sculpted me into this new thing, right? This was the moment I transitioned, and I told myself that I needed a new purpose.
Yeah.
And I looked around, I said, I'm so blessed. Look at all the support that I got. If it wasn't for that video of me being dragged, no one would have ever known about this.
Yep.
And I told myself that I want to create a nonprofit as well, where I could provide the same blessing that was given to me to officers as well, who may not have been known, right? They didn't know.
Now
No
you're
one
paying
knew.
it forward.
There you go. There you go. And if this one person's act of kindness could make me do a complete 180, imagine, right, what I could do as well to others. And that's how the nonprofit came about. I call it the Blue Phoenix Initiative because, like a phoenix, I felt like I rose again.
You rose against the ashes. You were reborn, rebirth.
Reborn. Yep, absolutely. And that's where the name came from.
Yeah.
The purpose of the nonprofit organization is to bring awareness to officers, to bring awareness to the citizens and the community that the officers serve. So when an officer is injured, we send out notifications to the citizens who have signed up so that they can take the initiative and provide help out. Correct.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Because